was raised with a mother who was an artist.
I've always enjoyed.
Okay, my inspiration, my project.
Hi, today I'm going to be using the Raina Castle book for our project. We're going to be using this and all these other products down here. We have a package of foils that have metallic colored foils, the Raina book, several papers from our Princess collection. It's a signature line. And we have a swatch book, epoxies, and sticker sheet that we'll be using today on this project. The completed project looks like this. And we've also embellished it with crystals also, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and some brads. So to start this book, what we're going to do is you have different options as what you can cover the edges with these books. They have kind of a gray edge to them, so what I like to do is I usually like to cover that up with either paint or ink. So you have options of doing acrylic paints. You can also do little ink cubes. There's paint pens that you can also use. I really like just using a paintbrush and acrylic paint, and I just decided to stay with keeping it all white edge. So I'm just going to take the paint and just dab it across the edges, and you can be pretty messy with this. You only need to really cover 1/8 of an inch along the edges because the die cut will cover the remainder of the book. So that's basically getting the idea of how you want to just camouflage that ugly gray edge. This is another one where you could do it with silver, and it just gives you another color palette, or you could go with pink. What I did is I've cut and cropped my paper down to just slightly larger than the die itself. And what I'm going to do is I folded them in half so I can get 2 panels off of each sheet. And I actually need to move this one up a little bit more. We're going to lay our die acrylic plate on top to hold everything in place, and then just go ahead and run it through the machine. And you have all your pages for your book. Just that simple. And again, these pages are slightly smaller than the actual book itself. The way the dies are made, they need to be slightly smaller. You can use a glue stick, or you can use the Xyron. And the Xyron's a really nice machine that you can just roll it through. It will make it into a sticker sheet, and it's a really easy way to apply the pages real simply. I also like your just standard glue stick. You want to apply it to the actual paper itself, not to the book, because these are smaller than the book's pages. So then you're just going to lay that on top of your book and align it, and you've got your page covered. And if you don't have access to the AccuCut die, you can also go ahead and hand cut these pages. And what I recommend when I'm hand cutting is to use an X-Acto blade with a cutting mat. And then if the edges are somewhat rough, go ahead and use a sandpaper or an emery board and just smooth out those edges, and it works really, really great. Then what I also did on the finished piece is I made little roof tops for my pages. So I just took small little pieces of paper and laid them back on the die again, and you can just kind of roughly place those on top and get all your different towers roof tops. And the same thing, you always want to have that acrylic plate on there to keep things in position. Just trim them off to give them kind of a nice little scallop edge. And then you have a nice little decorative edge on the bottom of that. And I've glued those again onto the tops of my peaks of my roof, so that you have the little roof tops. The other thing that I did was I made a little door for the front of my book. So I actually just cut the same paper again, that's the lavender paper, and made a little door. And I'll show you how to do that. The die cut, and I cut it, and I have the piece I already had die cut, and I cut another blue panel. I punched 2 holes in it, and I applied a 3rd brad as like a little doorknob. I've scored it right along here so that it's going to fold when I want to attach it, and I'm going to glue that to the back panel so that you have a double-sided piece, and it will hide the brads for you so that you don't have to worry about those being exposed on the back side. And I just used foam tape to attach it to the side, to the actual book itself. So again, I just took my picture and I just laid it in over the die, and I cut myself a photo with that opening so that she has a cute little, this is my niece, and so this is my little princess. She's the youngest cousin that my children have, and she's just a sweetheart. So this will be a nice little decorative piece when you have that book. Again, I use the Creative Cafe brads. Forgot to mention that. These are the Creative Cafe brads. They come in with 12 on a sheet, and I really like the small size of these. They worked really effectively for this project. I need to move something down here. On the rooftops, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fun little trick that another artist, actually, Mara Johnson and Christine Adolph, discovered from our foil pack. This comes with lovely metallic pieces, and I pulled out the pearlescent foil, which is really nice. It's really pastel and it's transparent so that you get just a nice visual still that you can see the imagery behind it on your pattern paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use our dot roller and kind of make it look like the roof has a little bit of a texture to it. You're going to always make sure that you've got your foil shiny side up, not the matte side, but shiny side up. Just rub your finger over it, or if you have a brayer, you can also use a brayer. And then just pull that off. And you get a really nice texture that's really subtle and pearlescent. Then what I did for some of my photos is I actually went and got a photo collage. Because these books are fairly small, I really liked that I was able to print out really small images of my photos. So I got this photo collage and was able to cut it apart and then be able to create a nice collage on my book. This page here, this page here, and then also this page with another photo collage. This one I took some of the photos and I matted it because I wanted some border to bring a little bit more color to the page. And what I'm going to do next is show you how to do the impress on. Next what I'm going to do is use one of our swatch books. These are awesome. You can use them individually or huge images as one piece. So what I'm going to do next is show you how to actually use one of our impress-ons. These always have a carrier that you always want to make sure you remove, and always make sure that you have it facing down and that you don't end up putting it down on the wrong side. And we actually have a little popsicle stick that we use. You can also use other hard surface pieces. I used it here, and then I also used impress-ons on another page over here. I added some stars. What I've done is I've actually taken our foil glue and I just took a paintbrush and painted it into our sticker sheet. I did that on another page. I also did it on the impress-ons. Then you would just take again your foil and lay that over the stickers. And also on the page in the book, I used it on the impress-ons. So you get like a nice little pearlescent effect on the stars. And I used those stars on this page in the book. So you can see that I got like a nice little pearlescent look on those there. Once you've got all your photos cropped and attached to the book, then you're going to start enhancing your project with your stickers. Your stickers and your epoxies. And so we've got really fun epoxies, and these are so durable, and so these are also glitter epoxies. Here's some that I used here, some of the epoxies, and then also the sticker sheets. The alphabet stickers are really great for personalization. My niece's name is Rainy, which is a very unusual name, but really a fun name. I've taken this book and I've used our Crop-A-Dial. Crop-A-Dial is a great tool. Take that tool and put that through, and then just punch that. And it goes just really cleanly through your chipboard. So this is going to be, I'm going to do that on that end of the book, and I'm also going to do it on this end of the book. So what I did is I took my ribbon and I took my brad and I just folded back the tip of that ribbon a little bit, and this is our princess ribbon, and I just took the prongs on the brad and just poked it through there, and I can just use that as my means of attaching this. So I'm going to take my brad with my ribbon, just put it through the hole, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to push back the prongs. And what I did with my second brad to camouflage the prongs there is I cut off the prongs on this one, and I'm using foam tape on the back side. So that way I'm just going to camouflage the brads on the back side. And here's one on the back. And I can just tie those two ribbons together and have a really nice closure for my book. The last thing that we added was our lovely Swarovski. The last thing I did on my project is use our new eye candy by Swarovski. 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 I have a tough time with that word. Anyway, it's a wonderful product. We're going to have a multitude of colors of the crystals, and I just attached those to the peaks of a couple of my rooftops to really enhance my project and give it a little bit more bling. This is my project, and thanks so much for your time.
I was raised with a mother who's an artist.
I've always enjoyed
Okay, my inspiration project was